I wasn't even the minister here, and Bev was in the foundation class. And then Dick was in that class, and it was so great, you know, and she came up, she goes, my seat's still here. I go, but we have a little vacancy because Dick used to sit in that corner all the time, you know. And so we have good memories. Bittersweet. But she decided to move on and become a practitioner, and Denise and Bev were in the same class together. So,
We're only ones
you
left.
have now been a practitioner for 5 years, and I got your pen. I know, I know, right? I know, and she shows up, and there you go. Because the other one was an emeritus pen, so it didn't fit. It was 20 years.
Darn.
Yeah, oh darn. Well, you will get that eventually.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
From your mouth to God's ears?
Yeah, why not, right? So let's applaud her. Yay! Well, I know, speech, right? Oh, yeah,
I'll take over.
George is going to have to give a speech for his birthday. We're not going to let him off so easy, are we? Okay. Anyway, I have a kind of a fun joke I just want to say. And I know, isn't that cool? I'll put it right on, right on. Okay, so this one is called Don't Step on the Ducks, and I haven't done this one in a long time. You've heard this? You know, okay. I don't think so. Okay, 3 guys die together in an accident and go to heaven. When they get there, St. Peter says, we only have one rule here in heaven, don't step on the ducks. So they enter heaven, and sure enough, there are ducks all over the place. It is almost impossible not to step on a duck. And although they try their best to avoid them, the first guy accidentally steps on one. Along comes St. Peter with the ugliest woman he has ever seen. St. Peter chains them together and says, your punishment for stepping on a duck is to spend eternity chained to this ugly woman. The next day, the second guy, don't worry, it equalizes. The next day, the second guy steps accidentally on a duck, and along comes St. Peter, and doesn't miss a thing, and with him is another extremely ugly woman. He chains them together with the same admonishment as the first guy. The third guy has observed all this, and not wanting to be changed for all eternity to an ugly woman is very, very careful where he steps. He manages to go months without stepping on any ducks. But one day, St. Peter comes up to him, and the most gorgeous woman he has ever laid eyes on, a very tall, tan, curvaceous, sexy blonde. St. Peter chains them together without saying a word. The guy remarks, I wonder what I did to deserve being chained to you for all of eternity. She says, I don't know about you, but I stepped on a duck. Oh, I just had to do that. Okay. So every week around, actually we've been doing this on Tuesdays, I think of a talk title. And then of course, you know, things show up throughout the week. And my talk title is What You Believe Is Your Reality. So there is this fantastic movie out, I don't know if any of you have seen it, called I Feel Pretty. Have any of you seen that yet? It's with Amy Schumer, and she's a, you know who she is? Okay, she's a blonde comedian, and she's been in other movies. But I'm watching this movie saying, this is science of mind. This is pure science of mind. Oh my gosh. And I'll explain as I go along. That's why I wanted you to talk about when you had a change in your perspective, how did it change your life, right? And you had a thought, or you had an affirmation, or you had something happen. So in this movie, she is, you know, she's a little overweight, not a lot. She's a very attractive gal, I think. And she goes to a spinning class. Y'all know where the spinning class is? Okay, that's where you're on the bikes and they're all, come on, you know, meet your goals. You know, it's great. And she's in the spinning class, and the first time she goes there, the seat falls off and she falls down and she just kind of slinks out of there because her self-esteem is on the ground. She feels like she's ugly, she can't do anything, she's very, you know, soft-spoken and steps back. So she goes, says, oh, I'll try the class again. So this time she tries the class. Not only does the seat fall off, she falls off the bike and hits her head really hard. But I'm going to preface this. Earlier, she's looking in the mirror and she goes, oh, and this is what we do, right? She's like, oh, I just want to be thin and gorgeous like all these women. I think she's in like New York City, you could tell, because all these girls are tall and skinny and, you know, wearing all the high fashions. And she's looking in the mirror, and then she sees the moon, and oh, there's a fountain out in her yard, and she decides she's going to take some money and toss some coins in the fountain and make her wish, so she's gorgeous. So she is drop dead beautiful, and she's going to be on par with all those other women that are in the world with her. So she goes out and she does that. The next day she goes to the spinning class, and the teacher's inspirational. What do you want? You can have whatever you want in your life. You could do it, you could do it, you could have it, you could create it. What do you want to create today? And she's spinning and going crazy, and then boom, falls on her, off her bike and hits her head. So the best part, she's with an employee, and I think they're going to get sued because she has now injured herself twice. And she's in the locker room, and she wakes up, and she looks down at her legs. And she's looking because she now sees this gorgeous, skinny body in her mind. She looks in the mirror, oh, look at this. And so the employee's saying, what? What? She said, don't you see this? I am gorgeous. And the woman's like, yeah, okay. So now you got to understand this. This is her perspective, okay? Now, if she believed this without hitting her head, she would have the same experiences that she starts having in the movie. And what Ernest Holmes teaches us is that if we change our thinking about a certain situation, then we can shift how we're going to change our life. Now, by having that belief that she was gorgeous, she could have anything. She was working as an IT person in the basement of this cosmetic company. So she says, I want to be the face of, I don't know, Lord, whatever it was. Yeah, I don't know, whatever it was. And so the CEO is like this little beautiful blonde, and you know, and so she goes and she decides, well, now that I'm gorgeous, I can be the receptionist there because I look like all those other girls. So she does that, and just keep thinking about if we have that thinking, and if we thinking we can have a job, we can do whatever we desire, then we're going to have that ability to attract that to us. How many of you have done that? We all have done that, right? And we'll claim and say, I want more money in my life, I want a better relationship, I want this, I want that. So in this film, she attracts the job she wants. She's in the dry cleaners, and she's still thinking she's this gorgeous, hot gal. So she goes into a bar, and she sees her two friends, and she puts her hands over their eyes and says, now don't scream, because it's me, okay? And they're going, what? And they never get it. They never get it, because she's never changed. That's the thing. She's changed in her mental viewpoint, okay? So she's in a dry cleaners, and this guy's standing there, and she's thinking, oh, I'm one of those girls that men want my phone number. And it was just kind of a play on words, but finally, you know, she ends up saying, oh, I know you want my phone number. I mean, look at me. Right? And so she says, give me your phone. And she puts his phone number in, and she gets his phone number. But this is the best part of the movie. She goes, and they go on a date, and he goes, I don't even know why I'm here, but I'm scared of you. So then they go on this date, and they go to a bar, and it's a bikini contest. So this is how powerful our mind is. I mean, George can part freeways, so she's going, look at this, look at me. I'm winning that contest. He goes, you don't have a bikini. I don't care. She rolls up her shirt, rolls down her shorts, rolls them up, you know, keeps her little tennies on or whatever. And he's looking at her like, oh my God, are you crazy? You're like overweight? Oh God. And she's like, no, I've got this. And so she gets up there, and she's like shaking her booty, and I'm like, I'm embarrassed watching it, right? And then I thought, well, wait a minute, why would I be embarrassed watching that? I wish I could do that. And I was wishing I could be like her in that position. And think about, if we had all the confidence in the world, what would you do? What would you do if you had all the confidence in the world? There's all these little gorgeous skinny minis standing up there, and she's just like, you know, and she's so shaking it and giving it and wiggling her body. All the men start going crazy. And they're going, wow, she may not be that good looking, but she's good looking. You know, because they're attracted to her energy, and they're attracted to who she was in that moment. And my point is, as I'm watching this, I thought, how can I be more like that? I don't need to hit my head, and I don't want to look in the mirror and but you know what? I'm going to take a little page from that girl, because as we do it, you know, it's incredible. But that confidence, and that's what the film showed me. I'm going, this is science of mind. This is science of mind. This is science of mind. And as she's, you know, thinking this, she goes into work one day, and she's the best receptionist. She has chilled water for the people. And then this woman comes in, and she looks at her, and she thinks, oh, I'm in the wrong place. There's a fat girl sitting at the desk. And Amy's going, you know, oh, hi, you know, and she goes, I must have the wrong floor. And she says, no, this is it. And then this woman is being a total brat. And then the cute, hot brother of the owner of the company walks in. He watches all this, and he says, I got to tell you, I would love to be with you and not her. And he sees her, you know, as who she is. But the best part is, she gets to she's going into a meeting, bringing water, and they're having a meeting about the product. And they're trying to bring allure to Target. And they're trying to appeal to, you know, people with less money, because all their stuff is like, what's an expensive product? Lancome, you know, something like that, right? And so they're trying to bring it into the everyday person and their kind of budget. And so she starts giving them feedback, and then the owner realizes she needs a real person like her, because the rest of them have all kinds of money, and they're buying all these high-priced products, and she needs a Target kind of person. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, as it evolves, she becomes like instrumental in helping them launch this lower-priced brand, okay, for their company. Now the part that's interesting is at the end, because I was like crying at like a baby at the very end of this film, is that she thinks this, she gets the better job, she has these incredible opportunities open up. Why? Because she felt that she was the most gorgeous, beautiful, intelligent woman on the planet. But the downside was she started to diss her friends who were kind of average too. And she started to become like the mean skinny girls. Oh. And you saw that, and I go, oh. Because as we have more come into our lives, we have an ability to not become, what's the word? Jaded, not to become, think we're above other people. Conceited. Or think that you're better than somebody else. Because our teaching, we're all about oneness. We're all about accepting. It's what Yushe said. What was that statement about the mosquito?
Don't find your meal someplace else.
No. Besides find your meal. What was that? What was the statement you were practicing?
Unconditional love.
Unconditional for all humanity. For all life, okay? So you saw this, and as she was really cute and sweet and wonderful, but as she was becoming, thinking she's so fabulous, she started turning ugly. She really did. And you go, ew, I don't like her. She's becoming a mean girl, like that woman that walked in, you know, was judging her. So at the end, you know, she's got this job, and even the brother of the owner of the company is trying to come on to her. I mean, and he's hot. And finally, she's at the hotel, and she's going to do this big pitch to Target. And this is what happens to all of us, and this is why I loved this film so much. we start having success, we start having things come into our lives, and then we sabotage it. We're the ones that block the things from happening in our lives. All of a sudden things, bam, 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 you're getting this, oh, parking spaces, and then one day Roxy goes, I don't know, I don't feel like it, I bet I'm not going to get one. And at that moment, she's going to shift her perspective and quit getting parking spaces. So she's in the hotel. She's just told this guy, no, I can't be with you. I've got a boyfriend, you know, the guy she met at the dry cleaners. And she finally, she's getting in the shower to get ready, and she trips and hits her head.
Oh,
okay?
no.
And you're going, no! And then part of you goes, no, that's good. That's good, because she's starting to become a brat. So she hits her head, and she wakes up, and it's like 2 hours later, so she really hit her head hard. And she was supposed to meet the owner of the company and have a meeting with her. So what ended up happening is that she then says, no. And she looks in the mirror and goes, and sees her as she's always been. So she's ready to throw away the career. She's ready to throw away the boyfriend. She's hiding from the boyfriend because she thinks he saw her as gorgeous and skinny. And he's always seen her as who she is.
Wow.
Isn't this gorgeous? And then at the end, at the very end, she is doing a pitch, you know, about we just have to accept who we are, and she's apologized to her friends for being a brat and being above them. And at the very end, she says, and see, here's a picture of me. And that was before. This is a picture after. And she looks and she says, oh my gosh, it's the same. And she finally gets the realization it was all in her head. Finally gets that realization. And at the end, she succeeds, she accepts who she is, and she embraces her greatness, and she embraces her ability to connect with people, make them laugh, and do all of that. So I loved it because it reminded me of so many people that have had this happen, where they've been judged by other people. And if she had had that mindset and just let go of, oh, I have a few pounds on me, or I don't have the perfect sculptured face, she would have had all the success. But thank God she hit her head and saw what she saw, and that shifted her whole life. So she ends up being with the boyfriend, getting the great job, da-da-da. But I was thinking about somebody in real life like that, and you all know who Jennifer Hudson is?
Yeah.
Think about what happened with her. Do you remember how mean Simon Cowell was to her? Do you remember that? So he said to her, she's on American Idol. Yeah. She's on American Idol, and if you don't know this story, she inspired me because she was a little overweight, right, at that time. She wasn't skinny, she wasn't heavy. And Simon Cowell says, you're never going to make it. You don't have what it takes to make it in this business. Jennifer Hudson's like, oh, really? Really, Brenda? I'll show you. So she did. She did. And what ended up happening, remember, she got the role from Dreamgirls. She has her own album. She's won Grammys. And when somebody challenges us, that's why I love that reading from Judith Orloff. When somebody challenges you, you're going to step up and say, no, I'm going to show you. And how many times have you had that in your life? Yes. And it's a catalyst to step us into our greatness. So the point of this talk today is if you had all of the qualities that you ever dreamed of or fantasized about, how would you be in your life? How would you be? If you want to be skinny and gorgeous, how would you act? How would you act around men? How would you act around other women? How would you be? And that's going to be what I want you to think about, okay? Because as we go through, or feeling like I am really intelligent, or I can lead this group, or whatever it is, and be that person that you want to be. Don't go hit your head. Just be who you are. Because there's this gorgeous quality, God quality in each and every one of you. And you all have that. And there's this light. There's this spark. There's this God spark. And it's always sparking. But guess who is dousing it with the water? We are. I'm doing it, you're doing it, and we're dousing it. And so when those thoughts come into our head, you know, and I remember Reverend Nirvana said, "Get thee behind me, crazy-making thoughts." Get thee behind me, because I'm God's stuff, and I am gorgeous. I am the God-like. I am fabulous. And if you start saying that to yourself, what are you going to attract to you? You're going to attract the people, you're going to attract the money, you're going to attract the circumstances, the jobs, whatever you want. Because as we believe that about ourselves, then we're going to change our perspective, we're going to change our lives. So as my talk title was, what you believe is your reality? Yeah, so think about that story in I Feel Pretty. And think about areas in the life that you have and where would you like to shift that. George wanted a part to see you on the freeway. Well, there's parts of me that say, you know what, I'm going to accept myself in this way or that way. And I was thinking about that this week. And I thought, where I have discomfort, how many of you have ever had discomfort emotionally? And it's never. Okay, so are you willing, because this is the work that we do here in Science of Mind, are you willing to be present to that? Because I realized I was causing a separation, you know, with people in my life, especially my daughter. And then I created an affirmation. You know what, we're more connected now than ever. So what is it that you want to create? What do you want to change in your reality? It's that simple. And then as you do that, it will shift. So think about that. And if you can't think of one, come talk to me. Okay, we're going to create a little statement for you. Shift your perception, shift your reality. Because you know what? It's not going to change until we change it. It's not going to shift unless we are present to it, yes?
Yes.
And that's really what it's all about. So let's see, what's a blanket one that we could all say? What's a good one? What do you want? What do you want? I'm powerful, strong, and creative. How about that? That would fit all men and women.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say that together. I am
Powerful, strong, and creative.
And so is